Today, we're going to unpack a really fascinating story out of Fairhope, Alabama. It's one of those cases that perfectly shows how the right narrative can take a property that's just sitting there and turn it into a huge success. It really proves that marketing is so much more than just listing a bunch of features. It's about telling a story that connects. That's a powerful idea, isn't it? When a beautiful home just isn't selling, we all tend to think, oh, it must be the price or maybe the location. But what if the real problem is the story? Let's dive into exactly how that played out. So our story starts with a luxury home that, on paper, should have sold in a heartbeat. I mean, it had all the right ingredients, but as you're about to see, the recipe was all wrong. And let's be clear, this was not some fixer-upper. This was a gorgeous, architecturally designed home. But the photos, they just showed the structure. They were kind of missing its soul, And buyers, well, they just weren't feeling it. The home was well and truly stuck. For 6 long months, that listing just sat there. And if you've ever sold a home, you know that feels like an absolute eternity. It's just filled with doubt and a ton of frustration. And in that entire half year, zero. Zilch. Not one single serious offer came through. The market was sending a really clear signal. Something was fundamentally off. But what was it? Okay, here it is. This was the heart of the problem. The seller, who was a really avid outdoorsman, had turned the 3-car garage into this amazing personal retreat for himself. But for potential buyers, it was just too personal. They couldn't see past the seller's life to imagine their own lives there. It actually became a point of objection, not a selling feature. So obviously something had to give. But the answer wasn't to just slash the price or start a huge renovation. No. It was a complete strategic shift in how the home was presented to the world. And it really all came down to this one simple, powerful fact. The house itself was beautiful. The problem was the story being told, a story that was all about the seller and not about the potential buyer. That had to change, and fast. So how did they pull it off? Well, they applied a new marketing framework that was all about a 3-part transformation designed to give this property a completely fresh start. These were the 3 pillars of the new plan. First, completely reset how the home looked online. Second, write a brand new story that would actually resonate with people on an emotional level. And third, make sure that new story got in front of the right people everywhere. Okay, so this visual reset was a total game changer. We're talking cinematic twilight photos to create this incredible warmth, drone footage showing the home nestled among these beautiful live oaks, and a walkthrough video so you could really feel its natural flow. Even the small stuff, like a clean driveway and a new wreath on the door, signaled a new beginning. Now, this is where you can really see the magic happen. The old description? It was just a boring list. Square footage, number of rooms, you know the drill. Factual, but totally uninspired. The new narrative, though, it told a story. It invited buyers to picture their mornings under the oak trees. It was selling a feeling, not just a building. So with a powerful new story and these stunning visuals, it was time to blast it out there. The listing was pushed way beyond the local market. We're talking ads in places like the Wall Street Journal and Robb Report to reach those qualified luxury buyers. And with a dedicated website and smart social media campaigns, they made sure the right eyes were seeing it. All right, so the big question, did all of this actually work? Let's look at the results, because they show exactly how this home went from being completely overlooked to absolutely irresistible. Honestly, this timeline just speaks for itself. The home relaunched in the middle of February. Just a few weeks later, boom, under contract. And by April, it was officially sold and closed. What had lingered for 6 months was completely turned around in about 60 days. It's incredible. And this wasn't just a feeling. The impact was immediate, and you could measure it. In just the first week after the relaunch, video engagement tripled. Buyers weren't just seeing the property anymore, they were truly engaging with its new story. Let's just pause on this for a second, because this is probably the most important point of all. Not a single wall was moved. No major renovations were done. The only thing that changed was the marketing, the energy, and the narrative. The story is what sold this house, period. Now, this case study isn't just some one-off success story. It really peels back the curtain on a fundamental truth about the luxury market. So why is stories so incredibly powerful?
Think about it like this. At a certain price point, buyers aren't just purchasing square footage or a list of high-end appliances. They're buying into a lifestyle, a feeling, a sense of who they want to be. They're looking for meaning, and a great story is what gives it to them.
At the end of the day, it's all about alignment. When the presentation, the visuals, and the words all match the true essence of a home, the right buyer feels it. It creates this instant connection that goes way beyond just ticking boxes on a checklist. The success we saw in Fairhope isn't just a lucky break or a happy accident. It's proof that a deliberate, story-driven process works time and time again. What's really exciting is that the approach we just walked through is just one piece of a much bigger, more powerful, repeatable framework that can be tailored to any luxury home to help it find its perfect buyer. This story just proves that even a home that seems stuck can have a total revival with the right narrative. So, are you ready to discover the ultimate roadmap to selling your luxury home faster and for more? Well, stay tuned for our next explainer, where we're going to reveal the Luxe Passport Framework that's designed for exactly that kind of success.